You know what the most expensive place in the world is? It's not a luxury mansion, it's not a private island, it's the graveyard. Because buried in graveyards around the world are dreams that were never pursued, books that were never written, businesses that were never started, relationships that were never risked, lives that were never truly lived. And you know what they all have in common? People who never played the game. Let me ask you something right now, and I want you to be honest with yourself. Are you sitting on the sidelines of your own life? Are you watching other people live their dreams while you're stuck in the stands, making excuses, waiting for someday? Here's the brutal truth that nobody wants to hear. If you don't play, you can't win. It's that simple, that powerful, that absolute. You can have all the talent in the world. You can have the perfect plan. You can have the best intentions. But none of it matters if you don't step into the arena. Today, I'm going to show you why taking action, even messy, imperfect action, is the only thing that separates dreamers from achievers.
Let's talk about the most dangerous word in the English language: someday. Someday, I'll start that business. Someday, I'll write that book. Someday, I'll get in shape. Someday, I'll tell them how I feel. Someday, someday, someday. You know what someday really means? Never. Because someday isn't a day of the week. It's not on your calendar. It's a comfortable lie you tell yourself to avoid the discomfort of action. Think about this. Every single person who's ever achieved anything significant had the same 24 hours you have. They had doubts. They had fears. They had obstacles. They had people telling them they couldn't do it. But here's what they did differently. They played anyway. They didn't wait for perfect conditions. They didn't wait until they felt ready. They didn't wait for permission. They stepped up. They took action. They entered the game. And yes, many of them failed. Some failed spectacularly. But you know what? Every failure taught them something. Every setback made them stronger. Every rejection brought them closer to their breakthrough. Because here's the thing about failure that most people don't understand. You can't fail if you don't try, but you also can't succeed. Think about that. The person who never asks gets rejected 0 times, but they also get 0 yeses. The entrepreneur who never launches never experiences failure, but they also never build an empire. The artist who never shares their work never gets criticized, but they also never inspire anyone. You're not protecting yourself by staying on the sidelines. You're robbing yourself of every opportunity that exists on the field.
Now I know what you're thinking, but I need to be ready first. I need to learn more. I need to prepare better. Let me tell you something that's going to set you free. You will never feel ready. Ever. That feeling you're waiting for? That moment when everything clicks and you feel 100% confident? It's not coming. The most successful people in the world didn't feel ready when they started. They felt scared. They felt unprepared. They felt like imposters. But they understood something critical. Action creates clarity. You can't think your way into a new life. You have to act your way into it. When you take action, even small action, 3 things happen. First, you learn what works and what doesn't. Not from a book, not from a video, from real experience. That's the only education that matters. Second, you build momentum. One action leads to another. One small win gives you courage for the next step. Before you know it, you're not just playing the game, you're winning it. Third, opportunities appear that you couldn't have seen from the sidelines. Doors open, connections form, possibilities emerge, but only for those who are in motion. Let me give you a perfect example. Every author who's ever written a best-selling book started with a terrible first draft. Everyone. But they didn't wait for the perfect first sentence. They wrote a bad one, then improved it. Every successful entrepreneur launched a version 1.0 that was flawed, but they launched it anyway, got feedback, and made it better. Every athlete who's ever won a championship sucked when they started, but they practiced anyway. See the pattern? Perfect is the enemy of done, and done beats perfect every single time. Because done is real. Perfect is imaginary.
Let me share something with you from physics. Newton's first law of motion. An object at rest stays at rest. An object in motion stays in motion. This isn't just physics, this is life. When you're stuck on the couch, scrolling through social media, watching other people live their lives, you're at rest. And staying at rest becomes easier every single day. But when you take action, even tiny action, you create momentum. And momentum is the most powerful force in personal transformation. Here's what scientists have discovered. When you take action toward a goal, your brain releases dopamine. That dopamine makes you feel good, which motivates you to take more action. It's a positive feedback loop, but it only starts when you start. Think of it like pushing a car. The hardest part is getting it moving from a complete stop. That first push takes enormous effort, but once it's rolling, it gets easier and easier and easier. Your dreams work the same way. The hardest step is the first one. Starting the business, writing the first page, making the first call, going to the first workout. But once you're moving, magic happens. You start to see progress. You start to build confidence. You start to attract opportunities and resources. People start to notice. Doors start to open. But none of that happens on the sideline. Here's another truth. The people who win aren't necessarily the most talented. They're the ones who showed up consistently. They're the ones who kept playing when others quit. They're the ones who took action while others were still planning. Consistency beats intensity. Momentum beats motivation. Action beats everything. Let me tell you about some people who understood this principle. J.K. Rowling was a single mother on welfare, struggling with depression, when she started writing Harry Potter. She could have said, "I'm not in a good place right now. Someday when things are better, I'll write." But she didn't wait. She played the game with the cards she was dealt. And now, 7 books, 8 movies, a billion-dollar empire, all because she took action despite her circumstances. Colonel Sanders was 65 years old, broke, and living in his car when he started KFC. He got rejected over 1,000 times trying to sell his chicken recipe, but he kept playing. One yes changed everything. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. He could have quit right there. Instead, he used it as fuel. He kept playing, and he became the greatest basketball player of all time. Oprah Winfrey was told she was unfit for television. She was fired from her first TV job. Imagine if she believed them. Imagine if she stopped playing. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination. His first animation company went bankrupt. He could have given up, but he kept creating, and he built an empire of imagination. What do all these people have in common? They faced rejection. They experienced failure. They had every reason to quit. But they understood something you need to understand right now. Every master was once a disaster. Every expert was once a beginner. Every winner was once a loser who refused to quit. The only difference between them and the people who never made it is they stayed in the game. You don't need to be great to start, but you need to start to be great.
All right, so how do you apply this to your life right now? Here's your action plan. Step 1, Identify your game. What's the dream you've been sitting on? What's that thing you've been saying someday about? Name it. Write it down. Make it real. Step 2. Take the smallest possible action today. Not tomorrow, not Monday, today. If you want to start a business, register a domain name today. If you want to write a book, write 1 paragraph today. If you want to get fit, do 10 push-ups today. If you want to learn a skill, study for 15 minutes today. The size of the action doesn't matter. What matters is that you move. Step 3. Commit to daily momentum. Don't rely on motivation. Build a system. Take 1 action toward your goal every single day, no matter how small, because 365 small actions beat 1 massive effort that never happens. Step 4. Embrace imperfection. Your first attempt will be ugly. Accept it. Celebrate it even, because an ugly first draft exists. A perfect one that's still in your head doesn't. Step 5. Ignore the spectators. People on the sidelines will always have opinions. They'll tell you why it won't work. They'll point out the risks. They'll question your decisions. You know why? Because they're not in the arena. They don't understand what it takes to play. Listen to people who are where you want to be. Ignore everyone else. Step 6. Redefine failure. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of success. Every no brings you closer to a yes. Every mistake teaches you something valuable. The only real failure is not trying.
Let me leave you with this. Your life is happening right now. Not someday, right now. Every day you wait is a day you'll never get back. Every opportunity you don't take is gone forever. And years from now, you're going to look back on this moment. You're going to remember watching this video, and you're going to ask yourself one question. Did I play, or did I watch from the sidelines? Here's the truth. The game is already happening. Your competitors are already playing. Your dreams are already possible. The only question is, are you in or out? Because if you don't play, you cannot win. But if you do play, if you step into the arena, take action, embrace the struggle, learn from failure, and keep going, the possibilities are absolutely unlimited. The world doesn't reward perfect plans. It rewards people who take action. So what's it going to be? Are you going to spend another day on the sidelines, or are you finally going to get in the game? The choice is yours. It's always been yours. But remember, the clock is ticking, and someday isn't coming. Today is the day. This is the moment. You are ready. Now get out there and win.